First off, thank you all for coming. It's exciting for me, at least, to see our team coming back together and actually get to see each other's faces and do things like this and actually be a team again in person and enjoy each other's company. So I want to thank you all for coming out here and thank you all for being a part of this team overall. My first thing, I was thinking about kind of what I wanted to talk about, and as some of you probably would guess, what I wanted to start with was team, right? We talk about team all the time, and we talk about that importance, and it doesn't matter how you look at it, right? If you look at it like the acronym that we talk about of together, everyone achieves more. Sure, that's a great way to look at it, but it's different for us. It's different for the Rose Bowl team, and it's different for what it means to us as a team when we come together. For me, it's about more than just the achievement, right? Yes, we can achieve more as we go through it as a team, but that's not what it's about for us. For us, it's about, and looking at this past year and a half, is exactly the reason we come together as a team. I think we get through more as a team, as evidenced by getting through a pandemic as strong and as together as we did as this Rose Bowl family. I think you find more support when you bring each other together as a team. As I can tell you very personally in terms of my health battles, I have found that support through team environments and in that type of commitment that we make to team here at Rose Bowl. I think you enjoy the process more. Again, beyond achievement and beyond everything else, and when you do it as a team and when you're going through the tough times that all of our swimmers get to go through as the challenge of this sport presents them those, doing it as a team, you get to enjoy that process. You get to enjoy being challenged more. You get to enjoy going through those tough times, even when it's tough at the time, because afterwards you remember doing it with your teammates and with everybody around you. And in the end, for a lot of what the coaches do this for, you learn and grow more as a team when you're forced to be a part of a team. Again, when I talk about team, it's different. It's different than when people think about team sports. Team sports are team sports because you have to play together. You have to have 5 people on a court or 11 people on a field or whatever the case may be. But that's forced, so they call it a team sport. I call swimming a team sport because it's not forced. You have to come together, and the better that you can come together as a team, the more that you can do, whether it's achievement or support or getting through tough times or whatever those things may be. But that's what the Rose Bowl team's about, and I want to thank each and every one of you, swimmers and parents and coaches. I thank you so much for being a part of our team. And as we come back together, let's give us all a hand for being so close together and being such an amazing team together. So let's give the Rose Bowl family a hand. I can't tell you how proud I am to have led this program. Yes, for the past 18 years, but also through the past year and a half. It's been difficult, and we've gone through tough times, and we've been challenged like we've never thought we would ever be challenged in our lives. But yet this team came together, and I want to say how proud I am of our coaching staff, whether they're last in line over there getting some food. Our coaching staff worked harder over this past year and a half, even though it had to be new things and different things and everything, but they were challenged to offer as much as we always offer to our team, and they stood up to that challenge, and they made it happen because of the hard work that they've gone through and everything they put in. So I want to thank the coaches and tell them how proud I am of them for this past year especially. So thank you, coaches. Let's give them a hand. Swimmers, I know this past year and a half will be crazy to remember down the road. I hope you learn the lessons, though. We talk about life lessons a lot throughout this program, and we learn lessons as we grow, and we learn through challenges, and we learn through disappointments. This past year, we were all forced to go through something together, and I hope that you can learn from it, and I hope that swimmers-wise, you can go out of this with the confidence that you can stay committed to something and you can stay true to something even in the face of the greatest challenges that you've been thrown in your entire lives, let alone the things that you are challenged, I shouldn't move around as much, challenged day to day in swimming. Swimming itself is going to present a number of challenges, but then you stood up this last year and did something that was just, in my mind, incredible. And I hope that you guys will go through that and believe in yourself because of that, and know that whatever comes your way in the future, that you are prepared for it from the lessons that you've learned and the actions that you've taken through those lessons and through those hard times. So for me, the coaching staff, and I know all of your parents, we are very proud of all of our swimmers for the commitment that you have made over this past year and truly standing up in the face of challenging times. So let's give all of our swimmers a hand. And parents, I echo a very similar thanks and being amazingly proud of what our parents have done over this past year, the support that you offer. And that's kind of, we talk about the triangle of coaches, swimmers, and parents. That coaches or the parents side of things is about that support. And if we didn't have the support that you gave this team over the last year and a half, and we didn't have the support to continue to offer everything that you could to this team throughout the last year and a half, even when we were in tough times, and even when you're experiencing tougher times outside of there than just at the pool and just what this team has to go through. We all went through tough times and we all battled our ups and downs throughout this year and a half. But to have the parents be supportive of this team and help us get through, I am proud to have led this team, but I am thankful and grateful for all of you to be a part of this team. So thank you to our parents. Let's give them a hand. So with that, and as we come back to kind of our new normals and some things may adjust a little bit, but we come back together and we move forward, and understanding all of those things that we went through don't just go away since we get to go forward. We have to adjust and we have to learn, and some of us will adjust slower than others, but we'll come back together and we'll come back to a more normal environment as we continue to move forward. And as we do, I want us to remember what this team is about. And I think, to me, one of the greatest ways that we ever do this is when our seniors talk. Today we have 10 of our seniors. We have, I forget what the number is, I think it was 30-some total seniors. How many? 33 total seniors this year, so an amazing senior class. 10 of those brave souls wanted to come up and speak live today, so they're going to come up. They had a little bit of more option this year, but 10 of them wanted to come up. So we're going to celebrate that. We have the yearbooks. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the first 5 come up now, and I'll announce who's going to come up. Then we'll go through the rest of the program. The next 5 will go, and then after that, we're going to now ask all of our seniors to come up. We'll give you all of the yearbooks at that point in time, and then we'll also take a picture with all of our seniors in attendance today and our coaching staff. So we'll do that after the second set of senior speeches. But for now, I'm excited to introduce our first group of seniors coming up to give their speech. Arsen Rostomian, Daniel Samizian, Ryan Zerpa, Amanda Peterson, and Naomi Leventhal. Those will be our first 5 speakers. So you guys all go ahead and come up. Yeah, you can stand up here. All here. All right, our first senior speech today will be given by Arsen Rostomian. Arsen's been in the national group for a few years now. And wanted to say a few words about the seniors as they come up. To me, Arsen's always been self-aware. He's always been aware of where he is and what's going on, and has really taken advantage of that in the water. When he first started the national group, he wanted to find a way to get to that next level and to kind of break through, so he embraced distance swimming and tried to push the 200 fly and do that. But that didn't necessarily come around, but sure enough, 2 or 3 years later, the hard work that he put in and making his futures cut at CIF in his senior year was a very cool way to have that pay off. And for those of you that are training distance now, he did it in the 100 fly, of all things though. So with that, attending UC Davis in the fall, Arsen Rostomian.
Thank you, Coach Jeff. Hello, everyone. I'm thrilled to stand before you as a senior, giving my speech to you all. I've been on this team for about 10 years now, and it's crazy to think that my time here at Roseville is coming to an end, and I would embark on a new journey in my life at UC Davis. So I'm going to start off with my memories and journey in the sport of swimming. When I was 4, my parents made the decision to put me in the water and go through swimming lessons at the YMCA so I can eventually become a swimmer. I hated it, but my parents kept forcing me. As time went on, I started to enjoy it and I wanted to actually swim competitively. I became better and better at swimming, and I kept moving up groups at the YMCA. Once I got to the top group, my coach at the time said that my brother and I wouldn't get better if we stayed. He told us to go to Rose Bowl for better training. So we left YMCA to go to Rose Bowl for the better training. My first memory of Rose Bowl is the 2011 Rose Bowl Summer Swim Camp. That's where it all started, where I would spend the next 10 years of my life committed to the sport of swimming. I experienced so many activities and games at the summer camp, and I learned how to correctly swim at all the strokes. I fell in love with swimming, and we decided to join the swim team in the fall. So my brother and I tried out, and we got into the color groups at the time it was called. I realized that Rose Bowl is the ultimate representation of the team that fosters growth, and I quickly became part of the Rose Bowl family. I witnessed Rose Bowl grow to what it is today, and Rose Bowl has seen me through it all. I thank the coaching staff for spending almost all of their time and energy in helping us not only become great swimmers, but also learn life lessons and understand what struggling means in order to become resilient people. On my first day of practice at Rose Bowl, all I remember was being coached by Coach Diane back at the time when she was a coach. In my mind, I thought I was the fastest kid, and I raced everybody in warm-up. But once the main set came, I was dead tired. A year later, I joined Coach Curtis's group, and from there, my swimming jump-started, and I began to improve in so many ways. One thing he said was, "Arsen, you have one speed, and that's fast." I didn't believe him, but I think all the coaches that had me can agree. I thank Coach Curtis for setting a foundation for my swimming and allowing me to reach new levels and take on obstacles. Little after that, I joined Coach Hector, and at this stage of my career, I began to build that age group mentality. I was with Coach Hector for about 2 years, and he helped me become a versatile swimmer. I had many ups and downs in his group, but Hector definitely boosted my swimming. He was always patient with me. Coach Hector is probably the most patient coach I've ever encountered. He tried to teach me to let go and just swim without any expectation, but that didn't work at all. The funny thing is I recently just learned how to swim without expectations. It's amazing how we think we know more than the coaches, but in reality we really don't. Coach Hector, if it wasn't for you, I would have never have progressed in my swimming, and I thank you for everything you've done. After Coach Hector, the new season came, and it was time for Coach Christine's group. What a ride it has been. She was undoubtedly the toughest coach I've ever had. No complaints at all, because without her, I would not know what it means to be resilient and to make commitments. Coach Christine pushed me and taught me to be a swimmer with a strong work ethic and commitment. One of the first memories with Coach Christine, when I was 8 or 9, I believe, was where I was swimming at a Mission Viejo meet with all the older swimmers, not understanding anything but to swim fast. All I knew was to swim fast. So I was entering in the 50 breast. I didn't know or read any psych sheets. I didn't read any psych sheet. All I knew was to swim fast. So I was entered in a 50 breast, and I was expecting to swim 50 free. But Coach Christine never mentioned that it's the 50 breast. So I swam my race, and I was ahead of everybody, and I touched the wall first, and I saw no one on the wall. I look back, and I see they're all doing breasts, and I was like, why are they doing breasts? I got out expecting Coach Christine to congratulate me, but all I saw was a white figure standing over me. The official said that I was DQ'd. I looked at my mom and Christine. Christine started explaining how I swam the wrong race and that my time didn't count. She apologized, but I knew it wasn't my fault. I knew it was my fault, and I was still crushed to hear that I got disqualified. From that point on, I knew Christine always wanted the best for her swimmers, even if she was yelling across the pool because we were doing a set wrong. She once told me to swim the main set without goggles because they broke and she didn't want me missing the set. Without her tough coaching, I wouldn't be the swimmer I am today. She was always there to push me, and I'm extremely thankful for all the lessons she's taught me and all the hard practices that I've endured. Next, Coach Cameron. Though I only had him during my freshman year for about half a year, he helped me push my swimming to new levels. I thank him for giving me the opportunity to join his group and providing me with some assistance with my strokes. If you know Coach Cameron, you know that once he pulls out that iPad, it's serious. Like there's no joking around. It's all business from there. Thank you for everything, Coach Cameron. Coach Jeff Klotz. I don't think there's enough words in the English dictionary to explain how much he has affected me in so many ways. I first had Jeff when I was around 14, and it was an unbelievable experience. I knew him from my brother, and I always looked forward to having him as a coach. He would always say, "Chin up, son," after my races, and "nicely done" after my good races. For all the long talks at Boys and Girls Club, to running team cheers, to experiencing hard practices, and racing at meets, Coach Jeff Klotz always emphasized that this is a team sport above all else. I remember he gave me this long talk once, and he said that he couldn't guarantee anybody's success, but that he could guarantee us knowing how to deal with failure and pressure better than anybody in the world. He said that if I could guarantee your success, I'd be a wealthy man. And it's true. No one is guaranteed success in this sport. That's just a given. I mean, it's Jeff. He knows it all. He taught me what it means to be accountable to the work. There's so much to say about Coach Jeff, but I don't think there's enough time. I'll always remember his famous line, "Don't call me sir, I work for a living," or "grow the damn wheat," which is a funny way of saying make a change. Coach Jeff, I was in your group for 2 years, and I can't thank you enough for teaching me not only as a swimmer, but as a person. You saw me grow up, and you've supported me through everything, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be coached by you. Lastly, but certainly not least, Coach Jeff Julian. After my sophomore year of high school, I came out of the season with the sectionals cut, and Coach Jeff Julian announced that the requirement for nationals was sectionals. So I joined nationals entering my junior year, and it was the best decision. At the time, it was Jeff and Coach Caitlin running the group together, and they both did an amazing job running a group of about 40 kids. Even though I had Coach Caitlin for only a year, I thank her for providing assistance to the mental side of swimming and difficult distant practices. I hope she's doing well in Minnesota, achieving all of her goals. I would also like to appreciate Coach Mike and thank Coach Mike for taking over the group while Coach Jeff Julian was out. His curiosity made the practice a lot better than any ordinary practice, and it was fun to share laughs with him. I thank him for spending the time to watch over the group on his own and focus on each of our techniques. Coach Jeff Julian, you've helped me become a much more mentally tough person than I ever was. When COVID hit, I relied heavily on his mental teachings, as well as long talks to make sure that there was a light at the end of the tunnel for all of us. He taught me how to truly follow the process through a growth mindset, as well as learning how to deal with pressure and adversity, both in and out of the water. Things like controlling the controllables, managing emotions, or dealing with setbacks. These are the three principles Jeff emphasized the most, and they have stuck by me, and all I can say is thank you. I appreciate his commitment to making every swimmer better mentally and physically, and without his knowledge, I would have been lost in this sport. I also wanted to say thank you to all the other coaches who I didn't mention. You guys have done an amazing job running this program, and I give you all my thanks. To my family. Oh, yeah. Test. Alright, I think it's good. Okay. To my family. There's no one in this world that can compare to the number of things my family has done for me. From taking me to practice every day, to taking me to morning practice, to taking me to meets, they've supported me no matter what. Whatever it was, whether that be in academics or athletics, they've sacrificed so many hours so that I could achieve my goals. Words can't describe how much they've meant to me and what they have done to make me who I am today. Without my mom, my dad, and my brother, there's no swimming and there's no me. My parents wanted the best for me, and they did everything they could to give me the best opportunity. They encouraged me through everything, and I can't write this speech or talk at all without appreciating and acknowledging what they have done for me. My mom was always there to pick me up after everything, and my dad was always there to push me and give me life lessons. I hope I will make them proud in the future. Thank you, Mom and Dad. To my brother, Roman. You're my role model. You're someone that I look up to. You've helped me with so much, whether that be with swimming or school life. You've guided me. You've pushed me. I can't thank you enough for all that you've done. I don't know who I would do, what I would do, or who I would be without you. Even though we would literally eat each other alive by fighting almost every day and arguing nonstop when we were kids over the dumbest things, like we literally fought over cereal, you always had my back. You were always there to make sure I was accountable for my work. You made sure that I was doing my best that I could. My brother has helped me so much, and I can't thank him enough for all that he has done for me. I'm proud to call you my brother. To my teammates, you guys have seen me at my best and I'm at my worst. You guys have been at my side through it all. You guys motivate me. You guys push me. And without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this sport. I can't thank you guys enough for holding me accountable and responsible for the work that I've done. You guys hold me to be the best version of myself, and I'm forever grateful to have you guys as my teammates. I wouldn't be able to enjoy swimming if it wasn't for you guys. Thank you for everything. I would also like to thank the boosters who've helped Rosebowl stay up, as well as Mr. Cienega and Mr. Kosic, who both are the backbone of Rosebowl. Without them, Rosebowl would not thrive, and their work and support made Rosebowl an amazing place. To finish my speech off, I would like to end off by mentioning what Rosebowl has taught me. This team is a family. It grows continuously because as each senior leaves, they try to find ways to make sure that the place is left better than how we all found it. That's how you remember Rosebowl. Of course, you remember all the memories and the friends, but most of all, you'll become Rosebowl. Cherish your time here and make the memories last. Go Rosebowl.
No, I switched out the cord already.
Go back sitting or?
Do whatever the hell you want. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Sorry about the mics.
That's all good.
All right. Daniel, hello. 1, 2. Yeah, all right, Dan. I don't have any volume. Oh, there we go. This guy showed up and one afternoon stood behind me for 5 minutes like they tend to do. And then just walked over and said, hey, I'd like to be in your group. So he sat down with Cameron and he sat down with me and we thought about how that was going to take shape, and finally it did. Dan is a very quiet, very calm, very even-paced kind of guy. But one of the things that really impressed me about his journey through Rosebowl showed up right at the end, right during our high school season. I get a bunch of emails from him updating me on his races and how it's going. And he sends me an email on the last day and he goes, Coach Jeff, I'm not swimming at finals tonight, but my teammates are, and frankly, that they've been the biggest part of what I do here at the Rosebowl, and it's going to be really exciting for me to watch it. And that's something that's going to stick with me for a very, very long time, to have someone that didn't make finals but still wants to be part of the mix and knows that their brothers and sisters that they were racing with and training with have been there to help them out the whole time. So, well done, Daniel.
Thanks, Coach Jeff. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here and to speak to you all today at Rosebowl, which at this point I can reasonably consider as my second home. Coming here for so many years, Rosebowl's become an everyday part of my life. It went by really fast, and now that my time is almost done here, it's tough to realize how hard it's going to be to leave. But before I talk about myself and my experiences here, I'd like to thank all the people who mean a lot to me and who have brought me here today. First, I'd like to thank all the coaches I've had here on the team throughout my swimming career. Coach Caitlin, Coach Annika, Coach Cameron, and Coach Jeff. I don't know where to begin to explain the immense impact you've all had on me. If I could talk about each of you and what you've done for me, honestly, my speech wouldn't end today. Each of you have influenced me greatly and have given me an amazing experience here. You're all the greatest mentors I've ever had in my life because you've been there for me every step of the way and taught me everything I know about swimming. You're all a big part of the reason why I've grown to love the sport so much and learned to enjoy the process. Undeniably, each of you has a significant place in my swimming career and my life. My coaches have made me a better, stronger person, both physically and mentally, both as an athlete and an individual. They have taught me countless things about swimming, life, and more. Without them, I wouldn't be here today. In my opinion, The magnitude of this impact is especially impressive given the fact that my head was underwater 80% of the time, as Coach Jeff would say. And of course, all these great things apply to all the other amazing coaches I haven't had the chance to swim for, who have without a doubt been and still are such great leaders to so many other swimmers on our team. Thank you for all the hard work you've put in for both me and my teammates, and for making the team what it is today. And alongside my coaches, I couldn't forget to thank my teammates. Thanks for all the fun memories and for making my time here enjoyable. Thanks for pushing me when I felt like giving up, for cheering me on, and for helping me give everything I had at the end of my races. You guys are like family, and I wouldn't want to suffer through practice or race at meets with anyone else. Finally, I'd like to thank my family, who have always been there for me and supported me in everything I've wanted to do in life. And I'd like to especially thank my mom, who has done so much for me. She has brought me to practice every single day before I had the luxuries of a license, and woke up at 5 a.m. without a single complaint to take me to my meets. Outside of swim, she has always been on top of my academics and given me the best life advice. I cannot explain how much her support has meant to me, both athletically and personally. Thank you, Mom, for all that you've done for me. And finally, thank you to all the other members and parents of Rose Bowl behind the scenes who make all of this possible for our team. Swimming is definitely not the easiest sport around. Swimming is more than the 3 minutes of racing during a meet. It's a combination of time, dedication, effort, and most importantly, teamwork. It tests your patience and it pushes you to your limits. And only with a strong mind, body, and team can a swimmer punch the touchpad to finish their race. As I always tell my non-swimmer friends, you won't really know how tough swimming really is until you become a swimmer yourself. And no matter how many times I tell them that, they still don't believe me. But the benefits of this sport, without a doubt, far outweigh its demands. Swimming makes us tougher individuals, challenging us every day in various aspects. It definitely changed my life. As y'all know, swimming makes you work your whole body from your head to your toes. So physically, it made me stronger, more fit, and healthier. I also really enjoy all the compliments about my broad shoulders. And in terms of my mental health, it helped me a lot too. Swimming gave me confidence, better self-esteem, and of course happiness. And going to all the practices and big meets really helped boost my mental stamina and condition me to better handle stress, which I'm sure will come in handy later on in life. All in all, I feel so privileged to be a swimmer. Considering how much it changed my life, I couldn't see myself doing any other sport. And doing all this at Rose Bowl made my experience that much better. With so many opportunities and experiences from fun meets to team trips, I'm so thankful to be a part of this team. I also say this especially because Rose Bowl gave me the best teammates I could have ever asked for. Together, we made lifelong friendships and memories that I'll never forget. I remember the Palm Springs trip my first year on the team, how we complained about the heat together and scratched our faces on the shallow end of the pool during the dives. I'm sure you guys remember that. I remember how we sat together in tents during the notorious Pac Champ rain every year, while still managing to get sunburned somehow. And I also just cherish all the practices we had and still have together, because from my experience, when I know I'm not the only one suffering through a tough set, it makes it that much less painful. Lastly, I learned a few lessons along the way that helped me as a swimmer and, in my opinion, are useful to know. First, don't lose your motivation. Although the present may be tough and filled with obstacles, don't forget about your goals and the bigger picture. Second, be good teammates. Even though you race alone, your team is the one who always has your back, cheering you on. Teammates are the ones who help you to get through practice. Teammates are the ones who motivate you to give it all you got. And ultimately, teammates can mean the difference between an amazing swimming career and a mediocre one. This is why we call it a swim team. Third, just don't forget to have fun and make some memories. At the end of the day, we're here because we love to swim. And finally, be proud to call yourselves Rose Bowl swimmers. This is the best team there is, so make every second here count. Go Rose Bowl.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Next up, we'll have Ryan Zerpa. Ryan joined us this year. And from his start, to me, I have to love how he embraces his individuality, whether it's what he wears or his hat that he has all the time or anything like that. But then even from the first meeting, I could tell he was very intellectual. He was very analytical, thought about things a lot, and that's how he has done his swimming, which I guess I shouldn't be surprised if his intended major is nuclear engineering. But our project this year has been to have him feel things a little bit more and get out of his head a little bit, and he has done an amazing job so far, so I look forward to what comes at Summer Juniors this summer. But going to Purdue University is Ryan Zerpa.
Thank you, thank you. I've been with Rose Bowl for 9 months, but honestly, despite the short amount of time, it's really felt like much more than that. And in the span of my swimming career, Rose Bowl holds a special place in my heart. It's truly incredible, the teamwork and the connection everybody has. From the moment I showed up here on my first day, it was spectacular. Everybody welcomed me with open arms, people I didn't even know, and people I had been racing against for years on the other teams. All welcomed me, all treated me as a friend, as a member of the family, and incorporated me into their tight-knit community of support and ferocity. My memories with Rose Bowl begin even before I joined in November of 2020. I remember my first WAG in 2016, the first time I ever made it, barely made the meet, and I would hear the name Ronald Dalmasio thrown around. And I had no idea who this was. This was my first championship meet ever. And all my friends would come to me and say, "Oh, did you see Ronald Dalmasio? Did you see what he swam? It's crazy." And everyone would speak legends about this kid. And I remember telling my friends, one day I'm going to beat this kid. Nobody believed me. Everybody laughed at me and said I was crazy. And I remember then making Spring JO and coming to my first meet here, 14 and under championship, and seeing him race and actually getting to race with him at the first for the first time. And someone who had been feared by everyone in the SoCal community, I saw him, and through him I saw Rose Bowl as the moment I got to the meet, it was like being faced with a pack of wolves. The way you guys show up in your uniforms and march around together in synchronized stretching and get them at the warm-up pool, and it was incredible. And everybody looks at each other like, "Oh, this is going to be serious." Well, I made finals that night and in 50 back, and I remember seeing Ronald and knowing that he was going to be an integral part in my my swimming career. I wanted to beat him so bad, and it became this game and a chase of me. And as I became a flyer in the summer of 2017, and 2018, I met Max Cahill, and we had our rivalry as well in the 200 fly. It was spectacular getting to see you guys race and getting to race against you. And even as competitors, we were friends. We would come up behind the blocks behind each other, wish each other good luck, and I just remember always having the most fun being in a heat with one of you guys, because you guys were incredible racers, and I would hear your whole team cheering for Ronald or for Max, and I would hear that and think to myself, I am going to beat him. And I always had the most fun racing you guys. It was truly incredible, and it was a a very strong motivator for me. And throughout the years, I got closer and closer. I remember being at JAG 2018. I'd touch hundreds behind Ronald and Raphael, and just think to myself, oh, I was so close. But it was the hunt. It was the thrill I got of racing such a incredible force of nature, force of the sport that motivated me to push myself and bring myself to places I never knew possible. I never dreamed I would get my sectional cut or I didn't know what futures was. Or junior nationals, all things that seem like impossibilities. And I stand here now with junior national time, and I accredit that to growing up racing these legends of the sport, legendary team. And now that I'm on the other side, I truly see where it all came from. From the first day being egged on by all the guys, just telling me to race and really pushing me in practices. And I felt a strong desire like never before to really just become part of this culture of this pack of wolves. I wanted in, and going to my first meet with you guys, being a dual meet here against ourselves, it was incredible. And everybody, even the guys I would race against, I would get out of the pool and they tell me, good job, that was a good race. They would tell me parts of my technique during my race. As competitors, watching me during my race and being able to tell me how I can improve as people who were racing in the same heat as me was both baffling and amazing. I really took that to heart, and I feel so honored to be a part of such a amazing group of guys, and it's something I will never forget, how you guys have treated me and on this team, and how you guys have pushed me to where I am today. And it doesn't, the family extent of this team doesn't just extend to our swimmers, it extends to the coaches as well. From the moment I sat down with Coach Jeff, as he mentioned, I felt a connection, and I really felt like he was invested in me, not just as, it felt like I had always been with you guys. It did not feel like I was a new outcast of the group. It really, he took me in and really tried to encourage me to do my best. He supported me in my quest to seek and reap my true potential, and really taught me how to feel what I'm doing in the water and not over analyze so much. As he said, he saw me as analytical, and I was. And at that point in time, I was learning, which I still am, about the nature of the sport. I also remember within my first few weeks, I had the Coach Christine experience, which we butted heads at first a little bit, but quickly I saw we didn't have much time together, but I quickly appreciated how her shaking me into achieving my potential, and really getting me in the mindset of this team, and getting me to try to strive for a new level, to show that I've earned my place on this legendary, ferocious team of just incredible swimmers. And the other Coach Jeff as well during the pandemic, as we often, during Coach Jeff's hardships, and I would interact with all the coaches for a time, and just everybody took me under their wing and really gave me the support I needed to kind of bounce back from the rattle that was the year out of the water, and help me get back into my former racing self. I think the greatest lessons that I've learned with Rose Bowl would be to really appreciate the fact that this is a team sport. It's an individual sport in the sense that we all have our own tracks. We're all trying to achieve our own things, maybe beat each other, get our own times. We all have our own dreams, but we're all in a parallel track to achieve them. We're all in it together to try to beat each other and try to go to the Olympics or make a D1 college or whatever your dreams in swimming might be. And that battle that we all face in practice every day, gasping for breath at the wall and maybe throwing up in a trash can or whatever ugliness you might face in practice, we all do that together, and that really rallies us, and our experiences are similar yet different, and the points that we all have of growth we share with each other, and we help each other get out of our own head and race. We help push each other, just as Ronald did as for me, and just as I've done, I hope, for others. It's really a team sport of pushing each other to be the best you can possibly be. And the second lesson that I've learned is really to trust the process that you're undergoing. It's something Jeff has really imparted onto me, is the importance of knowing that you have been working very hard every practice. If you know you've come in and gave it your all, and no matter if it's a great day and you're a second under pace in your 200 pace set and you're feeling on top of the world and ready to crush whatever cut or competitor you might want to beat, or you're 4 seconds behind pace getting yelled at and really just having a bad day, whatever it is, if you know you're giving it all, your results will come. Do not focus. If you spend so much time focusing on the result and not the process you're taking to get there, you'll end up stumbling over yourself and not letting your body do what it knows how to do, what you've trained every day to do. So, as your coaches, I imagine, will often tell you, just as Jeff told me, when you get to a meet, whatever cut you're trying to make, or whether it's your last chance of the season to make futures, or you feel like you're running out of time and you're stressed, and maybe all your friends might be going to the meet, and you feel like you might be left out, all the pressure is getting to you, or any similar situation. Remember, the key to this sport, it's very simple, but it's true. The key is to race. You see, you've done all the work, and you get behind the block and put your heart into it. Clear out I need to, make sure I'm taking this many kicks. You've done that already in practice. You know what you need to do, and if you get up there and put your heart into it, your results will come. Thank you, all my teammates. Thank you, coaches. This has been an incredible time, and I look forward to coming home after college to my family.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Up next will be Amanda Peterson. So Amanda's longtime teammate here, team member here, obviously, long time in the national group as well. So trying to think of the different things of what to say about her, and the thing that struck me most is, what I'll remember most is just almost her constant smile throughout any time that I've been with her. Yes, I've seen other things, but there's almost always a smile there, and what she brought to the group wise, and what you bring to a room or an environment that way by always smiling is pretty impressive. But the thing that also strikes me as such a change is then when you see her decide that she wants something in terms of her competitiveness, and when she gets in her race and she decides that she wants something, it's like this is full sail switch. It goes from that smiling, happy, upbeat Amanda to like this competitor that you don't want to get in the way of, and usually gets the job done, and it's what's helped her get to her summer juniors cut. I'm going to allow them to come here while I'm talking so they don't interrupt her. Summer juniors cut, who, by the way, in terms of the summer juniors, is less than 1% of swimmers in USA Swimming that qualify for that. So a very high achievement in that. So with that and all the waters gotten quick, I will introduce our next speaker going to Cornell University, Amanda Peterson.
Hello. Okay. Throughout my 10 long years at Rose Bowl, not only have I learned what it means to be part of a team, but I've also gained a sense of pride knowing that I'm involved in something bigger than myself. Although not always seen as one, I've consistently said that swimming is one of the most team-oriented sports there is. And speaking from experience, if you say this to a soccer or football player, they'll think you're crazy. However, with the motto that the Rose Bowl Aquatics is ingrained into all of our brains, we swim for and as a team. This is one of the main reasons I love the sport. If it weren't for my teammates, I wouldn't have made it through the long breaststroke sets that made my legs feel like they were dying. I would have not survived the week in Flagstaff where my teammates and I faced some of the hardest sets we will ever do. I would also not have learned the importance of pushing others to reach their goals. Yes, seeing your teammates succeed is great, but knowing that you are a part of their success is an even better feeling. And I can confidently say that each and every one of you on this team were a part of mine. Thank you to all of you, especially the national group, for the important lessons and endless memories that I will cherish forever. Whether it be singing Sweet Caroline in the locker room at the end of a meet, or dancing behind the blocks to get the nerves out, you guys are my family. You taught me to laugh, to love, and to cry, especially the last one. I will miss all of you so much. Aside from my teammates, there were so many other people who were crucial in helping me to get to where I am today. Starting from the beginning, I would like to thank Coach James for jumpstarting my swimming career. I will never forget the time you made us little 8-year-olds do a whole 25 without taking a breath. To be honest, that still seems challenging now, so it took a really inspiring coach to talk a bunch of kids into attempting such a difficult task. To Coach Hector, you were my coach at one of the most important times in my swimming journey. You laid the groundwork that allowed us to advance in our process, although I did not know what that meant at the time. You taught me how to do what I do best, to clear my mind and race, something that I still do every time I step on the blocks. I can see how much you care about each and every one of your swimmers, and I hope that they know how lucky they are to have you as a coach. I then moved on to Coach Leo's group, who always made the kids laugh with his funky names for various exercises. After that, I joined Coach Curtis's group, where I got my first sectionals cut. Thanks to him, I began to take my swimming more seriously, and through hard work and determination, I moved up to the very intimidating national group. Led by Coach Christine, the national group were the big dogs on campus. I was nervous to enter such a fast and determined group of athletes. But through her coaching, I adjusted well and learned what it means to be a 24/7 athlete. Thank you, Coach Christine, for always making me do what I needed to do and not what I wanted to. Trust me, I was not eager to read a book on how to have a growth mindset, but nevertheless, our group thrived under your guidance. As our group was then handed over to Coach Jeff Julian, we became stronger than ever. Summer of 2019, under Coach Jeff and Coach Caitlin's leadership, was one of the most memorable times of my life. It was not only the best I have ever performed, but it was also a peak in my training and a growth in my mindset. Thank you to both Coach Jeff and Caitlin. Thanks to both Coach Jeff and Caitlin, I was once again able to take my swimming to another level. Thank you, Coach Caitlin, for being such an amazing role model. You believed in me when I did not believe in myself, and you helped grow my confidence to better me not only as a swimmer, but as a person. And with the leaving of Coach Caitlin, we gained a new assistant coach. Coach Michael, although your time with us was short-lived, I cannot express the great impact you made on this team. I could be getting lapped by the people in my lane as I kicked a swim set in order to heal my injured shoulder, and I would finish to a smiley Coach Michael, ready to give me a high five and tell me that I did a great job. Thank you for always being such an encouraging, supportive coach. And finally, Coach Jeff Julian. You were the person who taught me some of my favorite phrases, one of which being control the controllables. In any situation, there will always be things that are out of your hands. Your stroke might feel off in warm-up. It might be pouring rain and freezing cold at your biggest meet of the season. You might get an allergic reaction to the pool right before your 200 breast final at sectionals. Yes, this did happen to me. Whatever it may be, one must focus on what can be controlled, and if you do this, the rest will follow. And my personal favorite quote is one that I practice daily, and that is to chop wood and carry water. So thank you, Coach Jeff, for all that you have done for me and this team. The Rose will be a very different place without you. Aside from the coaches I have personally had the pleasure to train under, I wanted to also say thank you to every other coach on this team. You are part of the well-oiled machine that is Rose Bowl. And a special thank you to Mr. Chosich and Mr. Cienega for always helping out on deck. I also wanted to give a shout out to my friend slash teammate Doran Hojung, who said they would never forgive me if I didn't put them in my speech. And most importantly, thank you to my parents. You guys are the reason I am standing here today. Thank you for waking up at the crack of dawn and driving me to 5 a.m. practices and all of my swim meets until I got my license. Thank you for always supporting me through everything, whether it be school or swim or just life in general. Mom and Dad, you two are my backbone, and I literally could not go through life without you. And as I enter the next chapter of my life, and I leave all of these amazing people behind, I want to emphasize how grateful I am that I was able to grow up in such a loving, supportive environment. You have all shaped me into the person I am today, and I cannot wait to take everything I have learned all the way across the country to Ithaca. Thank you, and go Rose Bowl.
All right, to finish out the first group here, we talk about growth a lot, and it can be a bit of a phrase that we use, and it can be said so often that we forget what it means. And Naomi pretty much embodies what we mean by growth, or what we think we mean by growth. So many times these kids go through the program, they don't really quite see it until they're a little bit later on in their lives. This one figured out what growth meant pretty quick, and went from being slightly nervous and apprehensive to both dream to do things better to then stand up and race in a manner that was super confident. In fact, in my life, one of the greatest things I have is watching this one stand behind the blocks like she was about ready to take over the world in her Superman pose. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Where are you going? You're going to Berkeley, right? This one's going to Berkeley, school I still want to go to, and here you go.
What? Oh gosh. I'm doing that thing where I get a little bit nervous, so bear with me. Okay, cool. So, hi there. My name's Naomi Leventhal, and I am so happy to be with you all today. So, I've been swimming at the Rose Bowl my entire life. I first started here as a baby taking swim lessons, and then at the age of 8, I joined the team, and the rest is history. The Aquatic Center has been a second home, this team a second family, and this sport is one of the biggest and most important aspects of my life. Being able to swim with you all has been such a great privilege. In a sport based on individuality, this team has built a community centered in camaraderie. As a team, we are all in this together. Growing up teaches you a lot of lessons, and because I've grown up on this team, I want to share with you all some of the biggest lessons that I've learned through swimming. That success has many definitions. For the past decade of swimming, I've learned lessons that have made me who I am. I have learned dedication and commitment. I have learned work ethic and perseverance. I have learned the value of teamwork and gained the mentality it takes to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles both in and out of the pool. In life, it is easy to get caught up in the idea that there's only one set way to succeed. Through the years, I have learned that that is simply not true. I was able to achieve so much in the sport without ever having to be the fastest. I am a great swimmer, and my athleticism has never been diminished by the outcome of a race or the time on a clock compared to someone else's. Sorry. Achievement comes from who we are as people. what we learn from our past, and how we build our futures every single moment. Success is not an outcome, but instead who we become from what we choose to do. It is willingness to work to the fullest that matters more than anything else. As I reflect back on my time that I've spent with our team, some of my greatest memories will always be the practices that nearly killed me, my feet freezing at the crack of dawn when we're playing ultimate frisbee, swim meets in the scorching heat of summer. I think there was one that was like 116 degrees, and then also the pouring rain of winter. Random conversations with my teammates at practice, getting yelled at, understandably, for forgetting how to do an exercise one too many times. And for open water swimming at dawn, realizing that if anybody was shark bait, it was definitely me. Now for a couple of thank yous. First off, I want to thank Coach Cameron and Coach Jeff for pushing me to achieve throughout this journey and for never wavering in your confidence of me. Thank you, Coach James, for always reminding me to smile and also for helping me get my first job. Thank you to all the rest of the coaches who helped make this team the amazing group that it is every single day. Finally, I want to thank my mom, for working tirelessly to make swim happen while also balancing your career and being a full-time parent. Even when I didn't get my driver's license and you had to pick me up, you had to drop me off at the pool at 4 a.m. every single day. Sorry, that was a little rough, I know. So I wouldn't be where I am without every single one of you. You are all the best team I ever could have asked for. Thank you, and go Rose Bowl.
Awesome. Thank you, Naomi. Up next, we are going to break up the senior speeches. I know we're running over time than I planned, but we are going to break it up a little bit. And I wanted Coach RJ and Rex Maurer, our two people that are here, at least, that were at trials, to come up and just share a little bit about the U.S. Olympic trials and what it was like to swim there. Coach RJ is going to start us off with just kind of giving his experience a little bit, and then I was just going to ask the two of them some questions and get what they felt about things. So let's give Coach RJ a hand.
All right, so as I was preparing this, I was thinking about some inspirational words that I wanted to say. But those seniors basically wrapped it all up. If you weren't listening to that, I don't know. Those were amazing. So thank you, seniors, for that. And big thing for me was the lead up to trials. I really didn't feel like I had the confidence going into this meet. Shoulders problems, knee problems. We have all these problems. But, you know, going into this meet, I was thinking about what are some of the key habits that I formed throughout my career of swimming. And you know, we went through this pandemic, and I had the opportunity to work with some amazing coaches. I remember going to Coach Hector's pool, and if you've ever been over to his pool, it's like a 5-meter pool. So you're swimming in there. Leading up to it, I was working with Coach Jeff. I was working with Chad over at the Masters, and you just find these amazing people that give you the ability to inspire confidence into yourself. And you know, they're asking you, oh, how's the training going? How's everything going with it? And they're just looking out for you. So we have this amazing community here at the Rose Bowl, and I honestly don't think I would have made it to the trials without this supportive team. So I really wanted to thank everyone that's, you know, just asked me how it's going or giving me some tips and tricks leading up to it. And then leading up to trials, it was just, you know, you get to this meet, it's one of the biggest meets of your life, and you say to yourself, how am I going to remember this? How am I going to enjoy this moment? And you look around at all these people in the pool, and they're so serious. They have these serious looks on their faces, and you're saying to yourself, every time I see a serious person, I just need to smile and enjoy this moment, because it's, you know, you say it's the once in a lifetime opportunity. You want to enjoy it and take everything that you can from this meet. So I really just took the time, you know, speaking out loud about it. The atmosphere is awesome. You walk in there, and you have this giant, like, I don't even know how to describe it, but you walk through it, you scan a QR code, and all these like screens pop up of family and friends, and they're talking, and they're I think one of my swimmers made a little video. It's awesome experience. You walk through it. Then you get to the pool and you're like, whoa, this is a professional venue. You got a stadium all around you. You have lights. And yeah, it's honestly like you see it on TV and you're like, whoa, they do a really big job to make this sport, something more than it is every 4 years. It's something that's like an awesome venue to go to. So my experience, as I didn't have my best time at Olympic trials, and I was totally fine with that because I went to it with a smile on my face. I realized that this is going to be just a fun time here. You hop into the pool, you see the giant scoreboard over your head. You remember that, leading up to trials, I was, maybe I need to get this time. I need to do this. I need to hit all my underwater dolphin kicks. I need to do my rotation. And then when I got in the pool, you just got to let it all go, just like you've heard a million times, and you just got to race. And yeah, it turned out to be an amazing experience, and I really enjoyed it.
Rex, come on up. Coach RJ, go. Stay up here. We don't have time to kind of have the crowd ask questions, but I did want to ask them a little bit about it and share a little bit. How many people watched the trials? Good number of you. Awesome. So you saw the venue, a huge basketball stadium, pool put right in the middle of it, some of the seats taken out from the round. So you're actually kind of walking above what would be the lowest seats in the basketball arena. But it's a very cool setup for that. But I wanted to ask them a little bit. Coach RJ talked a little bit about kind of the nerves and the emotions that are involved in that meet. And it's over the top in terms of what comes there. And he talked about smiling. I love that in terms of the reaction to any negative thing that you see is to smile and to try to bring that positivity. Rex, I was curious on how you handled just the nerves going into your races.
Yeah, personally, I was super scared before trials. I wanted to go so fast. I really wanted to make it back at night. Like we walk out of this tunnel at night and there's like all these lights and like all the lights are on the pool, and I really thought it would be cool if I could make it there. And I really found confidence in the training that I had done here, and that really calmed me down, and I was really just able to focus on the race just because of the preparation I had done here. So.
Awesome, yes, and he did make it to finals, and that was actually one of my questions. Rex had a terrific meet. As a 15, 16-year-old, you're ending up at 25th right now, I think, for long course. Still have this summer to go, but I think he's 25th all time in USA Swimming. But Rex mentioned it, and I think it's a really cool thing, but also to me would be so intimidating in terms of walking it out. You had this right behind the middle of the pool, behind the starting blocks, you had this hallway, and the hallway was maybe 8 feet wide, and it was all blue lights just walking in it when it wasn't live for me. But then you have all these lights, or actually dark first, and then they turn the lights on, and for Rex, the whole heat walked out, but you're going from this covered back room area, walking out this hallway that's all big walls until you get to the end, and you see what was probably there was maybe 5,000 people. It wasn't a full stadium by any means, but 5,000 people standing and watching you. I was curious of what that felt like to walk out. Prelims and finals the same, but what'd that feel like?
It definitely felt super nerve-wracking because that's obviously the largest meet I've ever been to. I've never been to a meet that, the largest meet I've ever been to is like Futures. So it's weird to have people who aren't your parents or aren't other people's parents just watching you. And it definitely prepares you well just for future meets, seeing all those people. It was actually pretty dark. It was hard to see people. I tried to look for my dad. He was wearing like a red shirt, so I thought it was just calming to see him. But it was definitely super intimidating, to say the least.
Yeah, just like he said, preparing you for meets to come. This was a meet that gets you hungry, gets you excited for possibilities of another Olympic trials coming up. So yeah, it was just one of those experiences where you got hungry, you're nervous, but then once you get in the water, you just got to do what you got to do.
Awesome. All right, we're going to keep this section short, but one more question, actually. What was your favorite part? Just leaving it on a positive note, what was your favorite part of the trials experience?
My favorite part was probably just like seeing like the actual pool. Like you see it on TV and it looks so fancy. So definitely getting under like the big scoreboard and under the lights and seeing just like the deck and all the stuff that I've watched for like 2 trials in a row. It was definitely just super cool to be a part of that.
Yeah, I guess the biggest, the best part about it was having my family there, cheering me on, and then just going to eat good food afterwards. I don't think there's anything better as a swimmer, just eating some great food after a swim meet. There's nothing better than that.
Awesome. That's always rewarding. Rex, stay up here. Thank you. Thank you to both of them. Congratulations. They should be very proud as well. They represented Rose Bowl and made us all proud there, I know. We will still try to do our new swimmer picture. So that's basically where Rex is. Let's have all the swimmers that are new in this past year and a half. So if you have not taken a picture like this, so if you have not been to a red and black meet, then come on up. If you haven't been to a red and black meet and taken a new swimmer picture, come on up. I know we have a lot of people. Come on up. We'll take a quick picture. Coaches, come on over. We like to welcome all of our new swimmers, and since it's been a year and a half or so here, I'm sure we have a lot. So yeah, you guys come on over here. Squeeze just in front of this area. We'll take a picture. Welcome to everyone. I know some of you have been here a while, but I am going to push the giveaways till after those. So if you're waiting for those, I'm going to push those till after. So we will get back into our senior speeches. So we get back into kind of the what everybody wants to hear in terms of today. Yeah, there we go. So second group, the first one, actually, sorry. I'll reset. Second group of senior speeches that we will give are these 5 swimmers: Stefan Badescu, Edmund Eliassi. I knew how to say that before and I messed it up. Edmund Eliassi, Charlotte Stupanov, Alex Sirkin, and Chris O'Grady. Sorry about that, Edmund. So yeah, let's have those 5 come up. Stefan will be first.
All right, to introduce this first one. Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? I am doing good.
Another phrase we talk about a lot is process and trusting process. And when I got hold of this guy, we had a little process to learn how to trust. And the best part about that whole process, ultimately, was that he kind of taught me to trust it as well. And that's something that I really enjoy about working with this young man. There's actually quite a few things, but this is one of them that stands out. He's a miler, whether he wants to be or not. He's good at it, and the process was interesting to get him to figure it out. You'd ask him what his pace was, and he'd give you a time about 3 seconds slower than pace. And then when it came to make his first major meet, the event that put him into the national group, I'm freaking out, and he's completely calm and completely relaxed. And we're even halfway through the race, and I'm thinking the process isn't working all that well, when in fact he makes said cut by about 20 seconds. So Stefan's going to NYU, right? Yeah, all the way across.
Far away from you.
That's good. It should be. That's the way we want. Anyway, Stefan Badescu.
Woo. Okay. The wind is not helpful. Okay. I wanted to not really thank many people, because many people have already been thanked. We've been listening to that for about half the time. So I want to start off and really focus my speech on the time, the first and only time that I came face to face with Coach Christine's paralyzing death stare. It'll be funny, don't worry. It has a happy ending. So, while this story is not specifically from when I was her swimmer, it will stick with me for as long as I remember at Rose Bowl. So, 2 years ago at 2019 JAGS in Irvine, it was time for relays at the end of a very long day. And my relay and I were looking over our heat sheet, trying to find our lane. We looked over and over and over. We were flipping through the pages wildly. We were running our fingers along every single entry, but we couldn't find our relay. So, we were 100% convinced that there's no way that we were entered. There must have been something wrong. So the rest of my relay went to check the timer sheets, because that's where we knew that, if something went wrong, they'd be okay. I went all by myself to go talk to the coaches. Okay, so I walked up to you, Coach Christine, 100% sure that there was no relay on there. That included me. I gave you the paper, and then the girls' heat in the event before us finished. I told you the problem. You're like, okay, well, let's take a look. You flipped through the first page. The guys dove off. You flipped through the next page. The guys finished. The second person on the relay in the heat before us, which I was about to find out, went off. You looked through the second page, the third page. It still wasn't there. You flicked to the back. The third guy finished. The fourth guy went off, and then that's when she took her sunglasses off. Now, everyone here knows the situation gets real when Coach Christine takes her sunglasses off. She flipped back to the first page, and very carefully, just as we had done, stuck her finger on the first entry and went entry by entry for the second time. In the pool, the previous heat had just finished. The fourth person just touched. She flips to the second page. Her fingers are going down. The heat's lining up. She flips to the third page, and as she finally hits my entry, oh my gosh, look, there it is. She flips her head to the heat. Everyone's on the block except for one lane. And at that same moment, the buzzer goes off. I am just sitting, I'm like, I'm gasping, trying to say anything, something. When she turns to me, her sunglasses are off, so now I can see the true emotion in her eyes. My mouth is open, about to say something, and she goes, "You have no excuse." I couldn't move. I just sat there for a while, watching the heat in front of me go. Marshall, who was on my relay, he was the one checking the timers. He comes running back. He's like, "Guys, we missed our relay." I'm like, "Yeah, I figured it out already." So, the moral of this story is, our relays, we don't need that anymore. Our relays at Rose Bowl are so important that if you miss one, it's probably best that you don't show up the next day. technically I didn't show up because I missed that relay. I got cut from my next event, which was my last event. So I went home. But at Rose Bowl, our relays are so important because they signify how we come together after a long and horrible day of individual events, either making your cuts, making your times or not. You have to put up a smile, you have to get up there, and you have to go with your team to make Rose Bowl proud. And that's the theme, that's the true essence of what Rose Bowl is. Coming together, putting aside our good, our bad, coming together as a team when it truly matters and supporting each other. And that's what I'm going to hold with me as I go through life and think about my times here at Rose Bowl. So thank you so much, coaches. Thank you so much, swimmers. And maybe I'll come back and visit. I don't know.
You do whatever you want. Either way, doesn't matter. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
What do you want me to say?
Lots of good stuff.
Good stuff, bad stuff? This one. How much fun this one, huh? Cam and I started talking about this one when he was young. It was a lot of fun. We spent a lot of time talking about how to make Edgman follow through on the things that we wanted him to follow through on. And you know what? Every so often he listens. And it's kind of cool because then you remember that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, at some point, he's going to start to pay attention. And then you can start to build something from it. And that's, I think, what's going to stay with me with this kid from the whole time. It's a fist fight for him every single step of the way, which I thoroughly enjoy most days. But when we're done, he and I both know that between Cameron and me and him, we've helped him move forward. And it's been a lot of fun to be a part of that. So you're going to PCC, right? Yeah. He's going to go to PCC, he's going to keep swimming, and he's going to be a lot of fun for the next guy. Edgman, here you go.
What a guy. What a guy. I was thinking about writing down a speech, but I'm just going to wing it like all my 200 freestyles I've swam. I've been here for 7 years, I think. And if you gave me this mic 3 years ago, I'd drop a pipe bomb about how every single coach here hates me and how they don't want me to succeed. See, back then I was a 14-year-old kid not understanding anything. I would look at my coaches and say, oh, you're not trying to help me today. You guys don't want to look at my stroke. But I was completely wrong. And I hope the young ones get something out of this speech. See, it's been a long time in Rose Bowl. I think I've learned the most, even from school, I've learned the most here at Rose Bowl than anywhere else. It's been amazing. I could talk about the memories for years to come, but I'd like to just say a quick little thing to the young ones, because I think they're the future here. Listen to your coaches. I promise you it's the most important thing here. This sport is very simple if you want to get good. As Jeff always says, you have to do something that you have never done before, and you have to do it good. And that's something I'll remember for my whole life. You need to do that, as in coming into practice and holding 33s for a 50 breast, 200 pace is not going to get you a 210, 200 breaststroke. It's going to get you way slower. And that's something that I've learned along the years. Besides from that, I'd like to say some thank yous. I like to be short, sweet, to the point with this speech. I'd like to thank the whole coaching staff. I'd like to thank my teammates. I'd like to thank my family for sacrificing so much for me. But two special people, the best duo of all time, Cam and Jeff. I'd like to thank you guys. I'd like to thank Jeff for just growing me as a person and really making me understand the sport, really making me honestly understand life, and making me a better speaker also. I'd like to thank Cam for building me up throughout the years since I was a little 14-year-old kid thinking I was the best on this team, which was completely wrong. Cam really taught me the ways of how to swim, and he really taught me the ways of how to mature. As me and him, I think, have a very similar personality, as in we couldn't hold our emotions in. We would get pissed off too quick, and that's something I learned from him. I'd like to also thank all my teammates out there. You guys have been the best. It's been very fun swimming with you guys, and Edge out.
Should have dropped it, son. You can do whatever you need, man. You're good. How long you been here? 10 years? It always amazes me when, young people get up here and say they've been part of this team and part of this family for the last 10 years. When you think about that, we're talking about kids that are 18 years old. That's more than half their lives here. Charlotte has been a fixture on the team since I have been part of this team, pretty much. Not quite, but almost. And if there's one thing that this one always was, it was always emotional. It was all, and I mean that in a positive way. It was always aggressive. It always looked like she was having a time of her life, unless it looked like everything was terrible. It's been nothing but a lot of fun to watch this kid fight through injuries over the years. It's not an easy thing. What did you do to yourself?
Well, I had mono. I tore my
Yeah.
ACL.
yeah. Torn ACLs, mono left. I mean, it's just crazy, but she showed up. And she did everything that she could to make it work. And that's been something that has been nothing but great fun for me to watch. And hopefully the same for said teammates. You're going to go to George Washington out in D.C.? That seems like a good place to go. Charlotte's dipping off.
Thank you. It's been very hard to put into words these last few days what I've taken away from this sport, and more specifically this team. For 10 years, this place was a second home to me, like it is for all of you. The people I have met and the families I have become a part of, I will cherish as I step into a new chapter of my life. I have learned so much from each of these coaches I had. Coach Christine, you taught me how to challenge myself and break down the walls that we build for ourselves. I will never forget the first time I went to Far Westerns. I finally made the cut in the 1,000, and I had bronchitis and a sinus infection, and I was warming up, and you kept asking me if I was sure I wanted to swim because I was pretty much hacking up a lung, and I was so excited to swim, so I did. I think I got lapped 4 times, and I barely made it, and every single coach on the pool was cheering for me because every time I took a breath, I was just wheezing. But that is a race I will take with me the rest of my life. Coach Hector, you taught me how to find a balance between swimming and the other aspects of my life, leading me to fall back in love with the sport after I completely destroyed my knee. Coach Cameron, you taught me that it's okay to create your own path. The year I swam with you was chaotic, to say the least, and having a coach that was there every step of the way to help me to create my own path to my goals was deeply influential. Coach Jeff Klotz, you have taught me so much. I have learned that being on time is one of the most important skills in life. That when I look back on this sport, I won't remember how fast I went, but I'll remember the experience I have created with the teammates around me. And most importantly, you have taught me that it is okay to walk away from this sport and that there is more to myself than just being a swimmer. The friends I have found on this team are incredibly special to me. Words cannot describe how all of you have made an impact on my life in your own ways. The memories I have of our experiences together will make me laugh no matter how far in the past they may be. Lastly, I have to thank my parents. You guys have been everything to me. Mom, you were with me every step of the way, from staying up late to make food for me for all-day swim meets, to work in the swim-a-thon, to being the support system I needed. This experience was not the same without you. Dad, having you on the swim deck was something that is so important to me, and I can never express to you how much that meant to me. And I am so happy that you can no longer DQ me, because that is the most awkward experience of my life. But both of you have so graciously given hundreds of hours to this team, and I don't think I can ever thank you enough. Rose Bowl will forever be an important part of my life, and a place that I know that whenever I walk on deck, I'm back home.
Wonderful. Thank you, Charlotte. And thanks for joining us today. Up next is Alex Sirkin. Alex is another longtime Rose Bowlian, longtime national group as well. And as I started thinking about these, especially the ones speaking today, but all of our seniors leaving here, the impact on the national group and the environment that they have created and helped create is going to be big this year. And for Alex, it's again smiles, and I don't say that lightly. I say smiles because I think it's so important for us to keep that, and I hope all of these swimmers will keep that as they move on. But it's that upbeat personality, and it's the love of the process and the love of this sport, and her willingness or wanting to just help in any way that she can, from when she started in the group as a young little swimmer and a little sister of Danny in the group at the time, but then taking on her own leadership roles and really helping the group. So she will definitely be missed next year. Attending Cornell University, Alex Sirkin.
Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Alex. Hope you're all having a great afternoon. It's nice to see everyone back here without masks and in person, another team event. So, especially it's nice giving a speech without having to do 200 laps before, even though I really miss the swim-a-thon. So I've been on this team for about 10 years, swimming on Rose Bowl even longer in the rec pool. And I've watched seniors give these speeches for quite a long time. And watching them, I would just think about how old they are and how I have so much time until I get to that point, but here I am. So after the swim-a-thon would happen, I'd go home, take a shower, brainstorm about what I would say during my senior speech, even though I was still in elementary school. And then I'd think, oh, I'll write it down for later. And then I never would because I had so much time. And then yesterday, I was looking at a blank screen, I had nothing. So yeah, for everyone younger watching and thinking that you have a lot of time, you don't. You might as well just start writing now. So it's hard to believe that after spending such a large portion of my life here, that it's finally coming to an end in just a few more weeks. So I just want to tell you guys a little bit about my experience, share some memories, and then also give some thank yous. So I don't really remember too much about when I started here. I know that I really enjoyed the sport, and then for some reason at 8 years old, I was dying to swim a 200 fly. I don't know why. And at that time, I was only doing 25s, so I wish I could go back. So at that age, I wasn't too fast, and I would normally spend swim meets watching Danny compete. Hi, Danny. But when it was my turn to compete, it was so much fun. I would spend meets like Far Westerns and Palm Springs blasting music on the bus. So I was playing Pink Fluffy Unicorns, Dancing on Rainbows, Shut Up and Dance, and we would sing them at levels that were very distracting for the bus drivers. I'm also terrible at singing, so I'm sure that was distracting too. At Red versus Black swim meets, I have no idea how many times I won or lost, because what has stuck with me the most has been the creative cheers, dressing up head to toe in red and black, Sharpie wars with your friends on the opposite teams, and just racing to beat the person next to you. As I got older and meets became more serious, I still found ways to have fun. Other than the usual singing and dancing, with the matured music taste, with the occasional My Little Pony song, we would always be the most energetic on the pool deck. At age group NCSAs, we just yelled constantly because the indoor pool amplified our voices. At NCSA juniors, we had the same yelling and screaming, but it was intensified since we had tearaway pants, and that was really fun. Definitely an attention grabber. At JAGS, our themes made us the coolest team on the deck, and the irony of showing up behind the blocks with floaties, then proceeding to go a best time in our 4 medley relay was too fun. And somehow, after every long meet, we still had the energy to dance to El Sonidito in the pool and sing Sweet Caroline in the locker rooms. Moments like these and so many more what made my experience here so amazing. My teammates and friends never failed to make every swim meet and practice more fun than the last, so thank you for all the memories. Thank you to all the coaches and parents who had to listen to me sing and put up with all the craziness for all these years. To all the volunteers, Booster Club, Mr. Cienega, Mr. Chosich, thank you for helping this team run and being the backbone. Coach James, thank you for coaching me before I could really swim and setting me up on the right path. Coach Cameron, thank you for always chatting with me on the pool deck and improving my mood. Coach Jeff Klotz, nice beard. Although I never had you as my main coach, I want to thank you for helping me. Even in just a short conversation on the pool deck, I would learn something from you, and any nerves I had before my race would just disappear if you believed in me. And I have to trust you because you know everything. Coach Hector, thank you for saving me from drowning when that girl sat on me during swim lessons. I really would not be here without you. I'd probably be at the bottom of the pool. But thank you for always believing in my abilities. Before I joined Rosebuds and the team, I remember you telling me that I was getting too fast for your group. Having you as a coach again when I was 10 and under, really helped me to learn how to have fun in practices, race the people next to me, and always find something to work on in the water. Coach Caitlin, Coach Michael, and Muscle Mycicle. Although they're not here right now, they have all had a huge impact on who I am right now. Whenever I needed someone to talk to, or whenever I needed someone to talk to, they were always there for me. Whether it was about training, life, or just what to play on the speaker for Dryland, they would always give the best input, and they really showed how much they cared for all of us. I miss all of them so much, and I'm incredibly grateful for everything they did for me and for this team. Coach Christine, I don't know if you remember this, but there was one practice when there was this massive bug on the bottom of in the bottom of the lane that I was in, and I was really scared of it, and I wanted to switch lanes, but you said no. The next set had different intervals, and the slower one that I had planned to go on, that you advised me to go on, was in the lane with the ugly bug. So for that one day, I decided to challenge myself, not by swimming in the lane with the bug, but by going on the faster interval. So even though you recommended me not to. Everyone expected me to stay in the back of the lane and struggle, but then I was filled with adrenaline because I was scared of the bug, and I ended up making my way from the back of the lane to the front. I'll never forget this because after practice, you told me that you were wrong for saying I should go on the faster interval and that I shouldn't go on the faster interval. And after that day, I always challenged myself to go on the faster interval, even if there was no bug in the lane. Although I might not have been the hardest worker or very focused when I was younger, as I've gotten older, I've realized how much you have done to shape me into the person and swimmer I am today. You have taught me how to be mentally and physically tough, and always put in the work no matter how uncomfortable it was, and to always make that work better when you're watching so I don't get yelled at. You made sure that I wasn't alone behind the blocks because you knew that I swim faster and I'm having fun. I learned how to not fear the end of a 200 fly or anything else because regardless of how you start the race, it's still gonna hurt at the end. I went from fearing the piano dropping on my back for the last 175 of a 200 fly to only dropping on the last 150, or maybe last 125. And I'm sure we can all agree that Coach Christine might be the scariest coach on deck sometimes, but it's because that she cares so much about us, and it's been really amazing to have you as a coach, so thank you. Coach Jeff, I've learned so much from you in my years here. You've helped me become mentally stronger, overcome adversities, and take control of my process. You taught me how to become a better swimmer through technique, but also through grit and having a positive mentality. You always helped reassure me that my training was there, and made sure I was confident. I remember going to LAI after the Flagstaff trip. I was so confident in myself that whenever we would drive through the tunnels on the way or way to the USC pool or on the way back, instead of holding my breath and wishing that I would swim well, I would just think to myself, oh, I don't need to wish for this, it's gonna happen, and I wouldn't even bother holding my breath. So when I was dealing with my own struggles, you also helped me come out of it stronger than I was before, reminding me to control the controllables and keep pushing. I've become a much better swimmer in person with your help, and I've not only learned how to love the process, but take control of it and make it mine. But one of the most important lessons I have learned from you is learning that it is okay to laugh at your own jokes when nobody else does, because you do it all the time. Coach Jeff, I am so grateful to have had you as a coach these past 4 years, and everything you have taught me will stay with me in the future. To my biggest supporters, Mommy, Papi, Danny, Babashkala, Bubu, Peaches, and Shay Shay, thank you for always believing in me. Mommy, thank you for always doing so much for me. Waiting in the car when I would take too long in the locker rooms, making my special sandwich after morning practices, driving me to morning practices when I couldn't do it myself, and still waking up to give me a send-off when I do it now. I really appreciate everything you have done for me and still do to help me, even if I don't always show it. Thank you for always telling me that if there's a will, there's a way, and other cheesy lines to motivate me. Papi, thank you for always being the best chaperone, for helping me pick the best pump-up music like the hamster dance song, and always making sure that I was having fun. I know you don't understand swimming too much, but your advice is always the best. The extra propulsion from farting off the blocks is really the most crucial part of any race. Danny, thank you for showing me what happens when you don't swim for 2 months. Just kidding. I hope your back gets better. I got permission to say that. Danny, thank you for being my best friend and being here to support me at the pool and at home. You inspire me to work harder, be a leader, and fight through anything. You're one of the strongest people I know, and I want to make you proud of the swimmer and the person I am. Babashkal and Bubu, those are my grandmas. Thank you for learning how to use technology to watch me swim. And always cheering me on, whether it's in person or on yelling at the screen. It's one of my favorite things to hear Babashka yell, "Vin, vin, vin," and Bubu yell, "Vai, Aui." So it really means a lot. Peaches, who is my dog, thank you for becoming a service dog just to watch me swim and for always protecting me from the imaginary dogs outside. I really would not be alive if I didn't have such a scary and menacing guard dog. Shay Shay, who is my cat, thank you for being so cute and always welcoming me home after a hard swim meet or practice. And I'm sorry for trying to make you become a swimmer in the bathtub. And to my second family here at Rose Bowl, to all the coaches, swimmers, and parents, thank you for making the years I've spent here so special. Something you might have noticed from what I've said so far is that I don't remember the times I went at each swim meet or what cuts I was chasing. I remember the lessons I've learned, the memories I've created, dancing with my friends in the locker room, and all the fun we've had on team trips. The times in the sport that matter the most are not the numbers you see on the scoreboard, but the time you spend smiling, enjoying the process, and being with your teammates. All those practices where I would look at the clock after what seemed like an eternity, only to realize that it had been 20 minutes and we still had an hour and 40 left, really feel like nothing right now. While in those moments, time might feel frozen, and and you want it to go by faster. Appreciate it, because the time is really going by fast. Soon enough, you'll be up here like me. Cherish the time you have here, work hard, have fun, and go Rose Bowl.
Thank you, Alex. And yes, I got quite a few eye rolls from Trenton and Christine when I tell my jokes at home, so I had to start laughing. Our last speaker, or our senior speaker today, is Chris O'Grady. Chris has been here a few years now, right? And again, in terms of the environment of the team, he's another one that just brings this positive environment to the team and is always smiling. His walk even matches it a little bit, with a little bit of a bounce to it and a little bit of pop to his walk. But that's how he is, and that's how he comes in, and that's the environment he creates or helps create as a leader here. When I picture Chris or his career here at Rose Bowl, though, he came in as a decent swimmer, just made it into the national group, and so he had sectionals and he was able to do that. But his process and what he took advantage of over the last 3 years, to the point where he just barely missed Olympic trials this year, was following that process. And it went from the first few months of just excited to get into the group and worked really hard and swam really fast, and then, as a lot of people do, became complacent. And not as a negative thing. Complacency, when I define that, is just doing the same thing. He became comfortable in the group and started doing the same thing and thought he knew what to do. That only lasted about a month, until he had a bad meet or two, and then he's like, oh, what do I need to do differently? And from there, he's been chasing his process and reaching higher and higher levels, as part of which he will be attending USC in the fall. So this is Chris O'Grady.
Hi everyone, my name is Chris O'Grady and I'll be swimming at USC this fall. I've been on Rose Bowl since I moved here from the East Coast about 3 years ago, and I have 3 younger siblings on the team. Rose Bowl has become a second home for me, both because of how much time I've spent in the pool training and because of how many memories I've made here. Compared to the teams back east, I can tell you that Rose Bowl is by far the greatest. From the very first day, everyone here has welcomed me with open arms and helped me get to where I am now. I have improved tremendously through the 3 years here, thanks to the tough training, the competitive environment, and the camaraderie on the team here. I've made many great friends on the team. Of course, it wasn't always like this for me, though. While living on the East Coast, I was just an average swimmer. When I was 13, I had a coach tell me that it was too late for me to be a good swimmer. Of course, that coach didn't have a background in swimming and didn't know what a late bloomer was or anything. I didn't make JOs until I was 14 either. I never finaled there. I was never really anything special. The first time I swam breaststroke in a race was only 5 years ago, and I only just got a legal breaststroke 4 years ago, but now I'm basically the breaststroker on the team, I guess. So anything can happen, and you can go anywhere with the sport with some hard work, some belief in your abilities, and yeah. Of course, we're a very fast team, but we're not just fast. We're very fun. My time at Rose Bowl with meets, team events, and travel trips has been so amazing. There truly isn't ever a dull moment with you guys. Some of the most fun I've ever had at meets was red versus black meets, the insane competition and the sense of team and everything. I remember with Danny in school, we would look at the roster for red versus black and we would plan which team was win. would win because we were on the same team. And I still remember my first travel trip with the team. It was only a month after I moved here at going to NCSAs in Indiana. It felt like a college team. Everyone with the same uniforms, doing the same stretches, and doing the big team cheers before everyone swam. It was incredible. I'd never been to something like it. And then now I guess let's talk about something that's been a little bit of a big deal the past 2 or so years, COVID. It's been tough not to see everyone's faces the past year and a half, and now it might even be coming back with a new mask mandate and all the new variants, but COVID changed everyone. Everyone changed. Most people couldn't swim. It sucked. But even through that, we all worked through it. The coaches, the leadership was incredible. We got onto all the dry lands, and everyone came back better than they were before, mostly. So thank you to my family for always being there for me and getting my siblings and me on this great team. Thank you to my dad for always believing in me and spending extra time to help me improve. Thank you for cooking the most amazing meals every day. Some of the guys can tell you about the pretzels that he makes. Thank you for my mom. Thank you to my mom for being so supportive and driving me and my siblings to our morning practices. At one point, there was a morning practice every single day of the week because I have quite a few siblings. And thank you for getting us back to California and getting us on this great team. I also want to thank the coaches who have gotten me to where I was today. I want to thank Coach Jeff Klotz, who I only had for about 2 weeks when I first moved here. He introduced me to the team and the culture, and he remains one of my favorite coaches I've ever had. Thank you to Coach Christine, who I had for 2 months, and it was honestly terrifying. I joined the team. I wasn't fast, and I got hammered the first 2 months, but it taught me that I needed to work hard and try to actually be a good swimmer. So thank you for that. And then Coach Jeff, I've had for the past 3 years now. And thank you for always being supportive and getting me to where I am now. Coach Jeff has helped me improve not only as a swimmer, but as a teammate. He holds his swimmers accountable and to high standards, and he has high expectations for all of us. He expects us to bring our best to every practice and race our hardest at every meet, and has really taught me and showed me what I need to do to be fast. He has a deep knowledge of the sport, and he shares regularly with all of us. Thank you, Coach Jeff. Thank you, everyone who helps with this team. All the volunteers, all the booster parents, coaches like James Gallagher who organize the team trips, Mr. Cienega, Mr. Kosick, all of them, thank you. And finally, my teammates. You have all been great friends to me, and I'm going to miss you all greatly, even though I'll just be about 30 minutes down the road. Through thick and thin, you all stayed by my side. During COVID, we got closer. Late nights on COD and lifting and all of that. And then recently, eating Korean barbecue until we get kicked out. And then, of course, flexing in the locker room mirror, which, by the way, has incredible lighting. So thank you all. I will miss you all. You've made this experience incredible, and I wish you all the best. Thank you all again, and go Rose Bowl.
Awesome. Great job, Chris. I'd like to call all of our seniors up real quick. All of our seniors, please join us, whether you spoke today or not. All seniors, please join us. We're going to take a quick picture. We also have, each year, the Booster Club puts together a yearbook of each of the senior, having some pages and some different pictures and different things in there. So we have the yearbooks for all of our seniors, and we also want to take a picture. So coaches, if you can come over here real quick, we'll take another picture. Same idea here. Facing. All right, so we will give out those yearbooks to our seniors. I just have a few words to say before we wrap this up today, and then as we kind of wrap up, we'll give away all of these giveaways as well. What we're going to do in terms of the giveaways is call out birthdays. So as we clean up, as you hang out a little bit or start to head out, listen for your birthday. If your birthday's called up, go to this table and you can pick whatever's still left on that table for you. Real quick, again, thank you all for coming. I think this was amazing. To our seniors, you did an amazing job with your speeches today, but to all of our seniors, I want to say thank you. Our senior class, not only is it the biggest class, but as at least somewhat of a couple of them mentioned, our hope is that our seniors want to leave the team better than they found it, right? To do something, their leadership that last year, especially in what they do, to leave it better than they found it. I hope this senior class is very proud of everything that they have done for this team and all of their leadership throughout the years, but especially this last year, and especially through a year that's so tough. You have led and left this team at a much better place than you have found it, so I thank you all, and I hope you are all proud of your experiences here. To our swimmers that are getting ready for your meets coming up, believe in yourselves. Believe in everything that you've put into it and go race with that belief behind you. That's what it comes down to. You've already done the hard work. You've already done the hardest part of it. The racing is not the hardest part. Believe in yourself. Just let it go, and let's have some fun this summer. To our booster club is amazing, and it is our parents. You guys are all of our booster club. But our board has been amazing over years and years, and then to get us through this year. Just real quick, I want to give a special thank you to two of our board members who have their seniors headed out this year. So we'll be moving off the board permanently. Rebecca Parsons and Diana Schroeder, thank you so much for everything that you have done for the Booster Club. Your time and commitment has really made a difference. I can't thank you enough.
Can we just have the kids kind of come over here and do it? Music on and stuff.
Are we announce dates? That's fine when we're done here. All right, yeah, that'll be it. We will wrap up. We'll call out the birth dates for the prizes. But otherwise, as always, I just have one question for you. Is everybody ready for it? One question, one time. Rose, what? All right. Thank you all for being a part of our team. Thank you for coming today. We'll see you later.